Hi, everyone, and welcome to Locked On Brewers. Well, staying up late night was worth it. Brewers did blow a late lead. They came back and won the game. We'll talk about that next. They are now 9-4. Great win in San Diego. That's coming up next here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Chuck Friedman, your host here on Locked On Brewers. Been covering the Brewers for over 40 years. Worked for WIBA Radio in Madison, AP Radio. You've heard me do sports talk shows in Milwaukee over the years. Like you, I'm a huge fan of the Milwaukee Brewers. Not only do I cover them, but I'm a fan, grew up with the team as well. So, yeah, nights like this put a big smile on my face. 9-4, blew a late lead, rallied to win it 4-3 in San Diego. Take the opener of the 4-game set here. And if you're listening to us for a first time, drop us a note on Twitter. Check us out on YouTube. You see on YouTube there, if you're watching us there's a comment section. Appreciate the comments as always. I'll be providing content on the Brewers after every game. Yeah, the weekend is here, and this is a big series against San Diego. We're not sleeping on those two games. We're going to be doing post-game Locked On Brewers after both of those because we are your team every day, and we mean it because we're going to be here for you. And it's even more exciting when our team is off to a 9-4 start. Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Follow me on Twitter, Chuck Friedman, Freimund. Enjoy conversing with you. I had one guy who was going back and forth with me, just was being unreasonable tonight. But y'all, 95% of you guys are good people out there and love talking to you. So let's continue with that. We'll read some tweets a little bit later on here in the show. Again, thanks for making Locked On Brewers your first listen every day. Yeah. We'll go right to the nuts and bolts of this game. Rowdy Tellez hit a home run. Mike Brasso hit a home run. The Brewers got off to a 3-1 lead, and it stayed that way until the bottom of the 8th inning. And in the bottom half of the 8th inning, Matt Bush came on for the Brewers. And I'm just not sold on Matt Bush. I don't feel comfortable with him on the mound. I remember what he was like last year. I was watching that 8th inning with my head over the coffee table, and he gave a tying 2-run home run to Trent Grisham, the former Brewer, tied it at 3, came back, and he struck Manny Machado out. My goodness. Yeah, he struck out. He did strike out. I'll give him credit there, but he gave the home run, and we got a brand new ball game. And then both teams brought their closers in. We saw Josh Hader. He went 1-2-3. We saw our guy, Devin Williams, 3 up, 3 down. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good night, 3 strikeouts. And then came the top half of the 10th inning. The Brewers put 2 guys aboard, obviously. Yelich was the runner at second, and eventually he moved to third, and a sacrifice fly brought him in by Rowdy Tellez, who homered earlier in the game. So 3 of the 4 RBIs by Rowdy Tellez, and the Brewers had the win. Payamps came on in the bottom half of the 10th inning, and that's where we are. He came on and he finished it off. There was runners at first and second, infield single. There was a great play by Willie Adames, a ground ball, first batter of the inning. Willie, the shortstop, threw it to third, and Anderson tagged out the lead runner. That was a huge out, and some fast thinking. If that backfires on the Brewers, they probably don't win this game. So bottom line is, Payamps goes on and wins the game, finishes it off, and gets the job done. But the night belonged to Colin Ray. Again, as you know, when a spot starter comes up, you really do got to hold your breath. You don't know what to expect. You really don't. But Colin was fantastic. Into the 6th inning, gave for a second, not had their preferred starters, and he came in and got the job done. He gave way to Peter Strzelecki, and Peter was great as well. Came in the 6th inning. Strzelecki got an out there, a double play ball. Initially, in that inning, a ball went lined right off his ankle, so he had runners at first and second. Strzelecki got a double play ball. Cronenworth bounced into a double play ball, the 4-6-3, and the Brewers were out of that inning. Strzelecki pitched the next inning, and then Bush gave the home run. But Colin Ray, just, the Brewers, again, at this point, the starting staff is their strength of the team. And when you could have two no-name guys come up here and pitch at this stage of the season early on, I mean, you're thinking later in the year you might see some of these guys, but already we're going to some of the call-ups. And Colin Ray was just fantastic. And, of course, we'll see if he does get another start. But to make room for him, Jansen Junk was optioned to AAA, and the Brewers outrighted Peyton Henry, which was a little bit of a surprise. They DFA'd him, or they DFA'd him. That's what they did. So that was a little surprise right there. But Junk goes to AAA. Peyton Henry goes designated for assignment. We'll see if he's back. And then Colin Ray, we'll see what they do next. But all in all, great win for the Brewers. Starting off in San Diego, a team that is a bona fide National League contender for the pennant. And, they're battling with the LA Dodgers over there. I know Arizona's off to a good start, but the Padres are good. And, early on, I just thought Colin Ray battled. He gave a home run to Manny Machado in the first inning. And at that point, I mean, let's face it, we're all thinking, oh boy. But he was great after that. He didn't allow another run until the sixth inning. And yeah, tip our hat to Colin Ray. Not the country singer Colin Ray. This Ray is spelled a little different. R-E-A, Colin Ray, a country singer back in the 90s who had a couple of songs. But they bounced back. Machado never did get another hit on the night, struck out. And Brewers win, and they move on to game 2 of that series tomorrow night. So the Cardinals also lost. They got shut out by the Pirates tonight. That was good news. All right. A couple other notes from the game. Brian Anderson snapped an 0 for 18 slump. He was so good the first week and a half of the season. 0 for 18 slump, went up, base hit to left center. He went the base hit to left center, snapped his 0 for 18 streak. But the bullpen, despite Matt Bush not doing his job, you almost want to see Devin Williams pitch another inning. And I know that's the old school in me, because Devin was so good in the 9th, and you're like, man, can he come back for the 10th inning? You'd rather, let's face it, all things being equal, you'd rather have him than Payamps in there. But that's the way, Council's not going to bring him back unless we're, down to game 162. So Payamps, though, did his job. And that's twice now. Payamps has come in kind of high leverage situations and got the job done for the Milwaukee Brewers. So we're going to get into a few other things here tonight. As well here on the show. We'll talk about tomorrow's matchups. We'll go to the Twitter box. We'll go through, see who did what today in his Brewer game. Today's show is brought to you in part, if I could just find it right here, it is eBay Motors. eBay, for a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. And it's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So when the time comes and you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. eBay Guaranteed Fit. You can be sure every part you need right now fits the first time around. So just add your ride to My Garage, look for the green check, and know that the part is going to fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you stop at eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in time for the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. All right, Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Going through a little cold here. Maybe it's a change of weather. Who knows? But excuse me for my voice today, and it's a late night. All right. But if they would have lost that game, I broke the first bobblehead. When Matt Bush gave that home run, I broke my first bobblehead of the year. It was a Giannis Antetokounmpo bobblehead. I grabbed the closest one. I'm sorry, Giannis Antetokounmpo had like 50 out of them, and I smashed it. I was just so ticked off. I shouldn't have grabbed Giannis, but I was in a desperate mood there, and I just launched him on the street where I live. So anyway, that's still like the 18-year-old kid in me. Today went 4, walked once. Willie Adames went 0 for 3. He walked twice. Rowdy Tellez 2 for 3, a base hit in there as well. And of course, the sacrifice fly. How often can you say Rowdy Tellez had the best night offensively of anybody, raised that batting average to 189. William Contreras went 1 for 4. He extends his hitting streak to 10 in a row. William Contreras. Garrett Mitchell took it 0 for 5. He's in a little bit of a funk over the last 4 or 5 games or so, but he's going to be fine. Brian Anderson went 1 for 4. Luke Voigt got a base hit, 1 for 4. Bryce Terang took it 0 for 3. On Miller got in the game, he went 0 for 1. Mike Brasso, he went 1 for 3 and a home run. Never talking about this on the broadcast. How can you keep Brasso on the lineup when a guy's hot and he's hot? And I feel like they said on the broadcast that Counsell likes to ride the hot hand. I feel like sometimes he doesn't. I feel like when a guy's out there and really raking out there, he doesn't ride the hot hand. So he's doing it with Brasso here and keep playing him. Hey, a guy's hot. I don't care who you're sitting there. You got to ride him out. But yeah, that was great to see Brasso adding a third run there because it was 2-1, 3-1. But and Grisham hits the home run. Brewers win it in 10. A couple other things we're going to get to. We're going to get to the mailbox here in just a second. Tampa went to 13-0. I did not want to see them tie the 87 Brewers. There are so few records that the Brewers have, so few Major League Baseball records they have, and getting off to one of the best starts in baseball, the best start in baseball, them and the 82 Braves is one of them. But that was tied after Tampa rallied and won. So Tampa, the 82 Brewers, or the 82 Braves, and the 87 Brewers, all at 13-0, tied with the best starts in baseball. They swept the series from the Boston Red Sox, who will be in Milwaukee a week from Friday night. Josh Hader, yeah, it was painful seeing Josh in the other team's uniform. I didn't like to see that, and of course he went a 1-2-3 inning. They interviewed him before the game. Said what does he miss most about Wisconsin or Milwaukee, and he said fishing. He misses fishing. Don't we all? I would say the golf. I would say the great golf when we have nice weather. But yeah, that was Josh Hader, and talked about how he was surprised at the trade, and a couple of times said, hey, this is a business. I understand we are in a business here, and what happens in a business is players get moved. It was an off day, and he says he found out he was going to get traded, and 3 hours later, he stopped off at a fast food restaurant, and he was on a plane joining the San Diego Padres. John Heyman was reporting tonight that the Brewers are one of several teams interested in Zach Britton, 35-year-old reliever. At one point, Zach Britton was one of the best relievers, best closers in baseball. But he's had elbow issues in the last several years, since 2021. And he is one of a handful of players that have not been signed and are on the shelf. There's like 12 players who are unsigned, 12 veteran players who are unsigned right now. And he's one of those guys. And from what I understand, for Zach Britton, one of the criteria, obviously he wants to play on a pennant contending team. And with the Brewers getting off to this time at the start, we'll see if they hang around. But I would say that Zach Britton choosing the Brewers would be a nice thing. But yeah, I'd love to have Zach Britton added to this bullpen. We'll see what he has with the injuries to his elbow, and at 35 at this point. But again, he was one of those players that was unsigned. I think Vinny Rottino is doing a hell of a job on the broadcast. I'm enjoying watching Vinny Rottino and listening to his commentary each and every night. The guy was doing his homework. The guy, on these road trips, he must be cooped up in his hotel, going through data, going through stuff, and he knows just as much about the Padres as everybody else. I think he's been fantastic. I think he has. I mean, his knowledge, his high baseball IQ, that is huge. But I'm just enjoying him pairing up with Levering on the broadcast. I just and I put something out there on Twitter for Vinny, and I appreciate it. The Racine St. Catherine's grad, and of course he from the city of Racine. But Vinny, keep it up, man. The preparation, the high baseball IQ, you could tell the prep. You know, I've been around this broadcast business for a long time, and you can tell the guys who do their homework and the guys who mail it in. And Vinny Rottino is spending a lot of hours. If he's not, the guy is a genius, because he is breaking stuff down and on the broadcast. We're going to go through the Twitter mailbag coming up here in a little bit as well. We'll get to that coming up here in a second or two. Today's show is brought to you in part by RocketMoney. RocketMoney can save you money. Maybe you have some subscriptions out there that you didn't know you had. Let's say you have an old subscription to something online, not necessarily even a magazine, but something online you've subscribed to, a virus detector or whatever that you don't need anymore. That was from a former computer, and they're charging you every month and you're not checking your bills. RocketMoney will help you out there, and they will detect this for you. Try it free for 30 days. RocketMoney is a personal finance app that helps you finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. RocketMoney also helps you manage your money. So all your finances are in one place. Automatically categorized are your expenses, so you can easily track your budget in real time and also get alerted if anything looks off. Yeah, something looks off or whatever. You got multiple credit cards or whatever. They're going to help you out here and let you know what's going on out there. Are you being charged for something if somebody's scamming you? And you don't want that. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions. Manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/LockedOnMLB. That's rocketmoney.com/LockedOnMLB. rocketmoney.com/LockedOnMLB. Thanks for making Locked On Brewers your first listen every day. Everydayers out there, appreciate you. A lot of everydayers I'm hearing from. You know, we drop this, sometimes we drop it late at night or overnights. You know, I'm up early in the morning doing the morning sportscast in Madison. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I look and I see some of you already watching the videos on YouTube or downloading the podcast. You know, it's one of these worlds that we're getting up earlier and earlier. So we drop these overnights. Day games, we try to drop a little early. But again, thanks for being an everyday. And, you know, I more than appreciate that. Again, follow me on Twitter as well. Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND, Chuck Freeman. And we'll be talking Brewer baseball all season long. And we'll be here every day covering the Milwaukee Brewers. All right, let's go to Twitter right now and see what you all had to say here. I put a picture of Piamps, not Piamps. I put a picture of a GIF from the movie Airplane, where a guy's sweating bullets and he's driving. He's flying a plane. I think that's what that is. And I said Piamps, and then I showed sweating bullets. And let's face it, as fans out there, we were sweating bullets when Piamps came out with nobody out and a man at second base. And he got out of it. He got out of it. So I put that up there, and Connor replies, "That slider is nasty, though." Trevor writes, "Former Brewers always kill the Brewers, it seems." Yeah, that was the case when Grisham homered. I didn't think he was going to go Yahtzee there, but he sure did. I was hoping they were going to keep the ball in the ballpark at least. But, yeah, he was – yeah, Matt Bush. I'm not comfortable with him in the 8th spot. I am not comfortable at all with him in the 8th spot. Not at all. I do not like it in the 8th spot. But you got to put him somewhere, I guess. But Peter Strzelecki has been so good. I feel much better about – Strzelecki was good last year toward the end of the season. Brent Orf, they go out and get somebody else. But I don't know. I'll be honest, that's not going to be the first game that Bush cost them this year. Brewers bounce back and win, thank God, on the road. How often have they lost games like that? So I just Dr. Grandin John, don't count on it. Hader will shut us down. Remember, Mark A did not want to pay him. I gave him away when the Brewers were in first place. Oh, this is when Hader. I said, let's hold him here and go to the 10th inning. And yeah, Hader. I did not like the fact that who did. Yeah, they're making the postseason if Hader's on this team. I think this season, God, add Hader to this bullpen and have Devin as the 8th inning guy. Wow. See that that Hader trade last year just screwed a bunch of things up. You add Hader, he's your 9th inning guy, and you got Devin as your 8th inning guy, and you don't have to worry about Matt Bush. You slide Strzelecki in there, and you're good to go. All right. Patches says, barely out. Great contact. He's talking about the Grisham home run. Dr. Grandin John again comes back and says Matt Bush is a worthless pitcher. Our bullpen stinks. It's more of an arson squad. Our bullpen doesn't stink. I'm sorry, I got a cold here coming. Our bullpen does not stink. Its bullpen is pretty good. I mean, it's been pitching pretty good. Now, are they this good? I don't know. That remains to be seen. I don't think they're as this good. I really don't. But for now, they're, for the most part, holding their own, blowing a lead tonight for the first time this year. But Matt Bush in that role, I just don't like it. I put out there as well on Twitter, do you got to get out Colin Ray when the going gets good there? And they did. He gave a base hit in the 9th and the 6th inning, and they got him out of there. Rob says, I thought he could have finished the inning, but not mad at pulling him at 80 pitches. If Ray goes on and gives up a big inning in the 6th inning, we're all saying, why didn't they get him out of there when the going was good? When the going is good, let him ride that success and take him out of here. So his first start of the year coming up against a killer in Machado, who had seen his stuff twice before. Yeah, he barreled down against Machado after giving up that bomb in the first inning. All right. Let's see here. Greg says Ray was very good tonight. Yes. Yeah, without doubt. Yeah. I mean, again, you're using pitchers that you didn't want to use at this stage in the game, and you're using them in the first month of the season, barely in the first month of the season. So, yeah, that's where the Brewers are right now. They're trying to give their guys a little extra rest. I know Craig talked about that during the season, during spring training. I didn't think it was going to be that quick that he was going to go and, give guys an extra day rest. But that's, he's managing this team, so we got to live by that. All right. Game 2 of the series tomorrow. The Brewers have won 12 of 16 at Petco. Another late one tomorrow night, but it's a weekend here, so we're good. But I know 3 of the 4 days so far, it's been late night baseball, and this one went the latest of them all so far. But the Brewers, I didn't realize that stat. They've won 12 of their last 16 at Petco Park. That's pretty amazing. The Cardinals, as I mentioned, they start a 4-game series against Pittsburgh, and they were shut out tonight by the Pirates. And those Pirates, man, I know we always want to count them out and laugh at them and all that, but boy, they somehow always seem to come up with the magic every once in a while. And Brian Reynolds is just fantastic. God, I wish he was on the Brewers. Tomorrow, starting pitcher. All right, Eric Lauer, the scheduled starter, gave up 2 home run balls in his last outing last Saturday night against the Cardinals, 6 earned runs. He pitched better against the Cubs in his previous start, so he's had 2 outings so far. Michael Wacha, former Met. We know him from his days with the St. Louis Cardinals. 3rd start of the year. He's 2-0 so far. His last outing, Michael Wacha with 6 innings, 2 hits. He blanked the Atlanta Braves through 6 innings, so he was pretty good in that outing. And the Brewers will face Wacha, who the Brewers have seen many times in St. Louis. So Wacha against Lauer. Saturday starters, Freddie Peralta and Seth Lugo is what we have right now. Freddie makes the start against Seth Lugo on Saturday. So we'll get more into that start coming up tomorrow night. Again, on weekends, we're going to have little shorter shows. We're going to get shows after Friday and Saturday night, and we're going to drop them after the games. But it's going to be a little shorter because, again, on weekends, I know you guys got a lot to do. You're busy. We're all busy. So, maybe a 30-minute podcast might be a little difficult on weekends. But I want to be here. I want to be talking about the Brewers. I want to, get your feel of Brewer baseball, because the first 2 weekends I've done this so far, we've gotten good response on the weekends. But we'll make them Saturday and Sunday shorties, and we'll be dropping them, overnight or when the game ends. So, but that's going to do it. Again, follow me on Twitter, Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND. Go to your favorite place that drops podcasts on Twitter. I list a whole bunch of places that you can go to, and whether it's Spotify or Apple, Google, whatever your provider is, we are there. We're on all of them. So appreciate that. And we'll be dropping these all weekend long. And of course, on YouTube as well. Please subscribe and hit the little button on there on the YouTube button that says you see subscribe. And then you see a little button next to it. And that'll alert you. If you hit that button too, that will alert you every time we drop an episode. So you never want to miss, if you want to watch the video or you just want to watch the audio. Love to have you either way. But I know our subscriptions on YouTube have gone up considerably here in the last couple of games. And that's all because of you. Brewers win it extra innings. They win it 4-3, score in the top half of the 10th inning on a sac fly by Rowdy Tellez. He has 3 of the 4 RBIs. He had a 2-run homer. Brasso had a home run. Colin Ray was fantastic on the mound, pitched into the 6th inning. Matt Bush blows it in the 8th, the 3-1 lead, giving up a 2-run homer to Grisham. And then the Brewers bounce back in the 10th. Hader did get into this game and pitched a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Thanks for making Locked On Brewers your first listen every day. We're here every day. Again, tomorrow we'll be talking about Game 2, the Brewers and Padres. The Brewers are 9-4. Keep expanding that lead on the St. Louis Cardinals. Good night, everybody.